Hey everybody, welcome back to Legit Street Cars. My name is Alex, and in today's video we are putting the black E320 CDI on the dyno. We're going to measure its horsepower, we're going to measure its torque, and we're going to switch between the factory tune and the Stage 1 Race IQ tune to see how much we've gained by simply pressing a few keys on a computer. Remember, when we uploaded that Stage 1 tune into the silver CDI, it was able to shave almost a full second off of its 0 to 60 time, which is just crazy considering how easy that modification is. Oh, and we're going to be able to hear this car's fully straight piped exhaust screaming on the dyno. Should be a pretty good day. Okay, before we get to hearing this thing scream on the dyno to about, well, 5,000 RPM, it is a diesel after all, we have to take care of something that has been really bothering me and something that prompted a certain company to reach out and sponsor this very video. You guys guessed it, I have to shave off this beard thing because, to be honest with you, this is the longest I've ever gone and it's itching the crap out of me. But luckily, Dollar Shave Club sent me out their shave starter set so I can clean things up a bit. Oh yeah, this is so much better. Now, you guys probably know that Dollar Shave Club sells razors like this one. They're really beefy executive razor. I mean, this thing is built like a fine German automobile, but they also sell everything else that you guys need to maintain your entire body. So right now, you can get any of these 3 starter sets for only $5 each, including shipping, which is just totally nuts. So here's what you can get. The shave starter set includes your executive razor with a weighted handle. This is a very nice piece. It also includes a 4-pack of 6-blade stainless steel cartridges and, of course, the world's famous Dr. Carver's shave butter. Up next, you have your oral care starter set that includes a very high-quality toothbrush and a trial size of their peppermint toothpaste. Last but not least, we have the shower starter set, which includes your Citrus Hawaiian Ginger Daily Face Cleanser, your Hydrating Body Cleanser, and your Sage Black Pepper Shampoo. We all have our daily grooming routines. I personally like to shave and then rock a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow for the next couple days, and Dollar Shave Club has everything that we need to look, feel, and smell our best. Ever since I got into working on these diesel cars, my wife has been complaining that I kind of stink, and that shower starter set has totally fixed that. Now, along with the free shipping to your door, you can also get even deeper discounts the more you buy, which they call their handsome discount. Join the club with one of their starter sets for just $5, and after that, the restock box ships out regular size products at a regular price. To get this exclusive deal, just go to dollarshaveclub.com/legitstreetcars or click on the link in the video description box. Big thank you to Dollar Shave Club for realizing that I needed a shave and for sponsoring this video. Now let's go get smelly and rip this CDI on the dyno. If you guys are wondering what kind of fuel mileage I get on the highway in the middle of the winter time, this is it. Now, this is basically all highway mileage, but this is pretty awesome. OJ, is this the dirtiest car you've ever had on your dyno?
It might be close to it.
It's pretty bad, right? Chicago salt is the worst. What about snow tires? Have you had a car with snow tires on it?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah,
I was a little worried. I was going to put some regular tires on it before I got here, but it is like an ice rink out there.
They actually don't do too bad. Snow tires haven't had too many issues, really.
Nice, nice. All right, we already uploaded the stock file into the CDI, so we're going to take our first pull right now and see what she makes with just the catless downpipe and the muffler delete. All right, guys, so we actually did 3 runs with what I believe to be the stock tune file, and the reason I say that is because this thing is creating a lot of horsepower. This is a lot more than I expected. Check this out. We're basically making 200 wheel horsepower when these CDIs produce, I think, 201 crank horsepower. So even though we have the catless downpipe and the muffler delete, I was expecting like about 170 wheel horsepower, especially we're using a Dyno Dynamics, which is known to be kind of a heartbreaker, but we're gonna double check and make sure I don't have the stage 1 tune in there, because this morning I uploaded the stock file, so maybe it didn't take, or maybe the exhaust is doing wonders for our power. And check this out. We're at 406 pound-feet of torque, which is nuts. This car produces, I think, like 370 or something to the crank. So we have some massive gains here, and we're gonna find out shortly if this really is the stage 1 tune or if it's the stock file. Something I wanted to talk to you guys about was how exactly we're dynoing a diesel, because I called like 5 different dyno shops in my area, and once I told them I had a diesel, they had no idea what to do. Normally, you put a clamp around the #1 cylinder spark plug wire in order to get a tach signal, and obviously we don't have any spark plugs on a diesel. So I'm over here at Fluid MotorUnion, and I'm just gonna go ahead and call them the lifesavers, because they were the only ones that knew how to dyno a diesel. Once I show you guys this shop, you're gonna understand, but these guys have dynoed pretty much anything you could think of. This place is unbelievable. So I'm gonna let OJ explain to you guys how exactly we were able to calibrate the dyno in order to read not only horsepower, but torque on a diesel. All right, OJ, so how did you do this? How are we able to record the torque reading? Because that was the big issue with the other dyno shops, is they're like, we can give you a horsepower reading, but not torque, which would be kind of pointless with this.
So the nice thing about having a dyno that isn't inertia based is that you're not taking a big weighted roller drum and spinning it up to speed. You're actually watching the speed of the front roller here, and as it's watching the speed of the front roller, the eddy brake, which is basically a reverse alternator, is a dumb way to put it, but it's a reverse alternator that varies the load. Now because of that, we can actually watch which speed the car's running at using the tach on the car and run it up to the speed that we see on the dyno. So I use the mile per hour, which it's seeing at the speed counter for the roller. Okay. And then I take that and I put a value in to match it.
Before I show you guys this shop, let's go for another run with the updated Race IQ Stage 1 tune file in here, and see if we actually have that tune file in there right now, or if this car is gonna gain some massive power. All right, guys, we did a couple runs with the Race IQ Stage 1 tune, and it looks like we were on the stock file on those first runs, which is just crazy, guys. The amount of power that this thing has gained with just some simple exhaust mods and a tune is nuts. Look at this. So we're at 225 horsepower, and then we're at 421 pound-feet of torque, which is crazy. Now, one thing I want to point out is ever since we uploaded the tune, see this massive dip right here? So this is when he goes wide open throttle, and then all of a sudden it seems like a limiter is kicking in, and then it starts gaining again. So right now we're gonna let the car cool down a little bit, and we're gonna roll into the throttle a little bit easier to see if that fixes it, and then I'll have to talk to Race IQ and see what's going on with the limiters. But either way, this is making some crazy, crazy power. And speaking of making some insane power, I gotta show you guys some of the cars that are in this shop while we're letting the CDI cool down, because this place is located right in the middle of Iron Gate Motor Condos, which is basically a bunch of really nice lofted condos with massive enthusiast garages below them. So imagine that a bunch of car enthusiasts bought up an entire gated community to store all of their awesome cars, and basically just hang out, talk about cars, and have car shows all the time. It is ridiculous, and this shop is located smack dab in the middle of all of that. So I'm gonna be doing a ton of videos here in the future. We're gonna be working together on some projects as well. But in the meantime, let me show you guys some of the cars they have here and what some of the guys are up to. All right, so as soon as I walk in, I'm greeted with this, an old school Ferrari, an old Lotus, a VW bus, this awesome looking Porsche right here. And these guys do a bunch of general repairs and maintenance on all sorts of different cars, but they also do a ton of performance work as well, as you're about to see with some of the cars that they have in their shop. Now, this is gonna sound dumb, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I don't know what this is. It says Beast on it. It looks completely beastly. This car looks nuts. So comment down below, what kind of car is this? Then we got an old school Pantera right here. And check this out. We have a 204 chassis, C63 with a WiseTech blower and nitrous. I think this car makes around 1,000 horsepower. And I'm gonna make sure to get some footage of this thing on the dyno, and I'll splice it into a future video because I've heard this car and it sounds nuts. They also have one of these, a factory Cobra Jet Mustang. They're gonna be throwing this thing on the dyno as well, which is just gonna be crazy. I have no idea what kind of power these make, but it's probably a lot. So these guys do a bunch of awesome custom exhaust work in-house. So check it out, we got a Jag F-Type, and this is basically all custom, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's right. We're doing full custom cat delete, different X pipes throughout. We're doing different resonators. Hopefully make this thing sound really good.
Wow, this is insane. So this X pipe right here, sorry, I just knocked down his tools. This X pipe, this is all you, right? Like you made this from scratch?
Yeah, in-house, everything.
Oh my gosh, guys, look at this thing. This is nuts. All right, guys, so OJ laid into it a little bit easier, so we didn't get the torque limit at all, which is really nice. And the power is super consistent here. So these are the last 3 runs that we made, and he made them all consecutively. But even with this thing cooled down for 15-20 minutes, the intake air temperature just really sucks. It starts off like, let's say 100, 120, and ends up at like 160. So that is not good for power at all, which means we definitely have to upgrade the intercooler. So look at this, we're at like on average about 222, 223 wheel horsepower. This thing comes with 201 crank from the factory. The torque is also very consistent at 412 at the wheel pound-feet of torque. I was logging the entire time, and the factory tune in the beginning was about 17 PSI of boost, and now we're at about 20 PSI of boost, which is perfect. And one thing that I think is gonna make a massive difference is replacing that guy right there, the factory intercooler. From what I understand is a huge restriction, and it doesn't do much for cooling, which I'm seeing in the logs as well. So I can't wait to upgrade that. And then once we get the E63 front bumper, you guys are gonna see the big intercooler behind the grill. It is gonna be awesome. All right, guys, as you can tell, I am ecstatic about these results. This completely blew my mind. I was doing some very light math. I can't figure this out right now, but considering like an 18% drivetrain loss, you figure a stock car would dyno roughly around 170 wheel horsepower, maybe like 320, 330 pound-feet of torque. So we've gained like 50 wheel horsepower and like 100 pound-feet of torque, or somewhere in that range, which is nuts. All we did was delete the cat, delete the mufflers, and press a few keys on a computer for the tune. I'd love to hear from you guys. Comment down below if you've ever dynoed one of these cars stock or with modifications. Let me know what they made. And just to let you know, we did dyno this in 4th gear and in 3rd gear, although all the results that you guys saw was in 3rd gear. In 4th gear, there was something going on. I think the converter was locking up or something weird, but we did get a couple clean pulls in 4th gear, and the numbers were almost identical, and we calibrated it in 4th gear and in 3rd gear. We probably ran this car like 15 times on the dyno, so it seems to be dialed in perfectly, and we're going to use this exact calibration when we come back after the modifications. Which, speaking of modifications, we got a lot in store for this car. I found out today that the new hybrid turbo shipped out from the UK, so I should have that in probably about a week, and then we're going to remove that front bumper, measure up for the biggest intercooler we can fit, and then we got fuel modifications coming and a bunch of awesome stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying this content. I am having a blast, and I daily drive this car, as you can see, and honestly, it has been the perfect daily driver. It's getting like about 30 mpg combined with city and highway in the dead of winter time, so can't complain about that. With that being said, a huge thank you to Fluid MotorUnion for letting me use the dyno, and I can't wait to be working with these guys in the future. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, share the video, and most importantly, have an awesome day, and I'll see you all in the next video.